Welcome back to the Links Golf Club podcast, everyone. A conversation in today event calendar drop and discussion show about our wonderful club and the world of golf. I'm Gregory, joined as always by Cooper and Chris. Guys, it's great to see you. I put on this shirt today. It's my Waffle House polo from Onward Reserve. Great company, great polo. No free ads, but the first thing I thought about was hash browns. So I want to ask you, what's your go-to Waffle House hash brown order?
Mothered and covered, baby.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. I would do double hash browns, crispy, with onions.
Nice. I love it. So smothered.
You're wearing it. You're wearing it in honor of the Atlanta Drive GC championship last night, I assume. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm surprised you showed up, honestly. Like, what was the party like? Like just celebrating into the night. I'm surprised that Atlanta, just like I didn't hear anything about riots in the streets from just like the celebration like Philly,
Yeah, it's because all the media, everything was shut down. Your word hasn't gotten out yet.
It's fair. Yeah, the lamestream media just keeping it from us, like the truth about TGL. All right. Well, mine's a single because I'm watching my figure, but also smothered, so with onions. And then I like it peppered sometimes. That's kind of my go-to is like scattered, smothered, peppered. But sometimes if I'm feeling frisky, I do it country with sausage gravy. Cool. Well, before we dive into today's exciting episode, do y'all have any announcements, plugs? What should people know?
Sure. Lots going on as usual. But right now, I want to let everybody know that the Links coin claim has closed. So if you're a member and you missed it, you missed it. If you're a partner community, you missed it. There are still ways to participate and trade. Pop in the community, ask some questions, and get involved there as we enter the next phase around the Links coin. Should be really exciting. We've got a lot of things cooking. I'm not going to steal our thunder from later in the call, but we do have a new hospitality station at Spade Bay, which is coming out. Our members are in the process of suggesting names, and we're going to pull on that. A la Bodie McBoatface. Internet polls for names are always a fun time.
Don't give people ideas.
Hospitality McHospitality face. I think we can do a little bit better. We're raising the bar here at Links with our community participation. So hop in, join that conversation. Lots of other good golf stuff happening as it warms up around here. Links leagues, post your scores in the spring league. Tons of good stuff.
Yeah, the other thing we should mention is we're coming up on the end of the initial phase of memberships at Hillcrest. So we've set up some special perks for everyone that joins prior to March 31st, which is, as we're recording now, this coming Monday in just a few days. So that includes free spots at our KC event of summer. We're actually going to talk a little bit about that on the pod here today. Links coin rewards and a bunch of other great stuff. So if you are considering it, make sure you get that done this week to take advantage of those special things we got going.
Great. Smart. Thanks for the updates, fellers. Let's move in here to our first segment. We're going to talk just in general. Like, I think one thing, we sort of shared the alpha last night on the community call. Every Tuesday night as a community, you can hop into Discord, and there's like a live podium where we typically drop new news. That's where sort of the alpha happens. But, then we have this podcast, we sort of record it the next day, and it becomes a little bit more of a conversation, a little bit more of an open to kimono situation about our thinking about things. And also we can just dive deeper because of the format, right? So today, one of the things I want to start with is really sort of a look back. And this should help us understand some like context of how we think about events, what we like about events, what we don't like about events. So to get us started, we're going to do sort of something of a draft. It's not quite going to be a draft, but I'm just going to ask each of you to name 3 events. Ideally, one of those is sort of like the signature event, which we're going to go into. One of those is more of just like a casual meetup that you met through Links. And then a third, potpourri, wild card, pick just sort of whatever you want, right? Ideally, maybe something else, but it can be whatever you choose. So, Coop, I'll start with you. Since Links Out started back in early 2022, what's your number one pick signature event that you attended and why?
Ooh, I think I have to go with the NFT NYC 2022 week. We got off to a really hot start. Crypto was really hot, and we had everybody getting together in New York, which was really awesome. through links, we had the Bethpage Black event, as well as Bayonne with the ferry from New York over there. And then also through links, I got a chance to go play Baltusrol. So I call it the Killer Bees. In that week, I played 3 top 100 bee named courses with links members. It was just so cool to get out. It was my first time on Bethpage Black, first time out at Bayonne, and getting together with all of the NFT fans and golf fanatics out there in New York was just a great time. So definitely fondly remember that one as a peak golf week.
Yeah, that was good times. It was good times for sure. I can go ahead and jump in with mine. I mean, those. Well, I didn't get to play Baltusrol, but the other two were great memories on my end as well. But thinking back, I think my favorite is pretty tough to pick, but my favorite would probably be Kingsley, sporting the hat today. Giving them some props. But so we did that event last year, and I think we talked about this on our previous pod, but it was just made a little more special just by the fact that we had Mike DeVries there with us. So guy who designed the course, obviously we're, kind of closely involved with at Spay Bay as well. So there were just a lot of different kind of angles of additional meaning there, which was incredible. And just like the fact that we were playing the course with the architect, kind of got the inside the artist mind as we were going through it. That was pretty special. And, not something you can really replicate elsewhere, which is kind of one of the themes we're going to be hitting on with the events this year. But that one was, I think, at the top of my list.
Yeah, sounds awesome from everyone who was there. Mine, not technically, I guess, a signature event and how we've branded them, but we talked about in the podcast, Summer Solstice last year at Spay. It was just a blast. It's exactly what I want. Like, another one of my answers later on was going to be the Rally in the Valley event at Sweetens Cove, and just Spay just feels a lot. I'm biased. People make fun of me. I talk about Sweetens all the time, but just like Spay feels that way. So I just want to show up early in the morning. I want to play golf for like 40 hours straight and just squeeze out as much golf as possible. And the solstice is that, right? It's the longest day of light in the year. We tried to play 100 holes, but it was just like super casual, right? Some people were barefoot. You're walking around playing different clubs, playing scrambles on some things, but walking the entire time. And then there was just stuff to do during the day, right? You have breakfast, you have lunch, you have dinner, and then share a beer in the clubhouse after we got done. So I love the solstice. Second pick then, more of not something necessarily organized by us, but maybe something that was sort of self-organized. Cooper, what's your answer here?
Yeah, I think I want to give a shout out. It's one of the first times I got to use the Links Play Network, go onto Clubhouse, find a course, book it, and connected with a couple of other members in the Philly, New Jersey, New York area to book a tee time at TPC Yasna Polona out in Princeton. It's a TPC course. It's an incredibly manicured property, and the clubhouse is this like stately mansion, right? It's incredible. I remember going there as a kid for like a bar mitzvah, right? It's a really, really cool spot. So it was my first time back since then. Got to go out with some Links members, and I guess it's like a link up, right? We got together, self-organized, checked in at the pro shop. Even though we booked through Links, it was super, super seamless. Got out and played, a really great course, and we actually have a video of that from that event. I've kind of filmed the drive-in and the beautiful gates and everything. So it was a really kind of like special experience to play a club that I wouldn't normally have access to with some other Links members.
Yeah, I remember seeing the videos and was a little jealous of not being there. Looks like a good one.
Next time, Chris.
Shout out Links Play Network. I think on my end, I was thinking through, I don't know where this falls in like the hierarchy. It's kind of a tweener, I guess, and not a signature event, but not quite a link up. But last year we did our New England or Northeast Fall Open, which was originally planned to be hosted by Jim, who went down with a atrocious knee injury in the weeks leading up to it. And so I played host, but it was a ton of fun. Obviously, hosting a bunch of Links members, a ton of fun, but just kind of being able to get a bigger group together. I think we had 12 folks there, if I'm remembering correctly. So, not a huge group, but a little more intimate, but got some Links members from across the kind of tri-state area together, played some golf. It was a perfect day in the fall, leaves changing, perfect temperature, golden hour playing afternoon there. So some good memories from that one. And yeah, I mean that one's kind of sticks out in my mind as that are non-signature events that I've been to.
Great. For me, I think I sort of changing my answer here midstream based on what I was originally thinking about. Was it November of 23, I want to say. We did an on-site with the product team in Austin, and obviously we were working for most of that, but also as a golf company, we made sure that we had some golf. And I live in Nashville. Nashville doesn't have an incredible golf scene. People in Austin also complain about Austin's golf scene, but I think like to me the cornerstone of Austin's golf scene is Butler Pitch and Putt. So we went Butler Pitch and Putt, and it's one of my favorite just golf places in the world. It's exactly what I want from that type of experience. And there's, now there's, you have like par 3 courses, like Nashville has Vinnie Links. It's the headquarters of the First Tee in Nashville. So there's no alcohol there. It's not really like a vibe, but it's still great. I love it. But Butler Pitch and Putt, you show up, you put your ball in the little thing, and then that determines who goes next. And the greens are actually in really good shape, and there's some fun shots out there, and it's just a great time. So we just kind of randomly did that, and then we wanted to go back the next day, and it wasn't there. So we decided to find some glow balls because we were showing up late at Jimmy Rogers, which is one of the munis in Austin. And they have this other like kind of par 3 off to the side from the golf course. And we played practically in the dark with glow balls, and it was sweet. So again, I like kind of some of that weird stuff, but when I'm getting together with people, like I'm trying to take golf very seriously. So if I'm playing like a normal round, like I'm locked in, I'm focused and everything else. And so it's almost like I need the opposite in a social experience. And that was just sort of like, hey, let's go play some golf. We all know each other through links, but let's go have a good time. All right, last one. I'm going to try to push you in this sort of potpourri wild card section to do something not through links, but I have the feeling that y'all are going to push that anyway. But what's your third event? What's your wild card event? Maybe not something that was completely organized through links, maybe not something on the other end of the spectrum that was sort of self-organized, just something else that stands out.
Most of my golf is through links. This is a kind of a tricky question, but you mentioned it earlier and it had slipped my mind amidst all of these other great golf experiences. The Rally in the Valley at Sweetens Cove. For charity, you introduced me to Sweetens Cove. Talk about a vibe type of situation. You show up, just the trailer, you just have a fun time out on this incredible property all day with your boys. Scott Stallings was there, right? There's cool sponsorships, and you just get to go out and have a tremendous day on the course. So I would definitely say that is something that's been like inspirational for what we try to do at Spay Bay, what we try to do at our signature events, especially with, this 2025 plan of like multi-day kind of experiences where there's just good hangs around the golf. And yeah, really looking forward to maybe getting out to Sweetens again here in the near future. But yeah, definitely shout out to Tennessee Golf Foundation for what they do there. That's an awesome event.
Because I wasn't there, even though the two of you were, how's it structured, or what stood out about it as being different, just because it's more informal and just kind of playing all day type of thing, or how's it run?
Yeah, the course itself is the layout, right? You go and play kind of a standard round of golf, and then they rearrange everything to be kind of an unorthodox par 3. So you get to play on this kind of golf playground. It's very informal. It's very kind of choose your own adventure. And then, when you're not playing the golf, the food, the drinks, the kind of patio area that they have is just awesome. You overlook kind of the whole course when you're up there, and you can see people hitting the ball around. Yeah, I think that's, the thing that makes it special is that you can kind of just do what you want, kind of play golf your way. And unless you make a really poorly informed wager, like Greg and I did, like the stakes are really low. But every once in a while you'll get taken by some some guy for a few $100.
Yeah, I lost my house and my car and my dignity. It was
It's
expensive.
rough.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of organized chaos, right? Like it was very well run, and the schedule was set. But then to Cooper's point, kind of within those lines, it just was really fun. It didn't feel stuffy. Obviously, as it sweetens, it felt just really fun. Everyone had a really good time. I don't think you could ask anyone there that didn't have a good time. So, yeah, that's a really good one. Anything else, Cooper, that stands out?
Now, I think Chris and I might have similar ideas for the other one I was going to mention. So I'll turn it over to him.
Okay, I was gonna steal that one. So appreciate you leaving it for me. But I mean, it's one of the themes, though, I think, and what's standing out to all of us is like the best events are just more casual, informal, relaxed, a good hang, as you said. And so that is definitely the case for our event we had at Cabot Citrus Farms last year. I also, have a poor repertoire of non-link related events that I've done over the years, and so I'm going to use that one. But that's not like it's not a signature event that we did. It wasn't really a community organized thing. It was kind of a separate one-off event that we ran. But incredible experience. Obviously, we got to play a ton of golf, multiple courses there. At the time they had the full 18-hole course, but then both short courses open, so we got to play all of those, some of them multiple times. And then like the thing that stands out the most from the trip was like just being on the massive like Himalaya style putting green late at night with everybody, just playing whatever ridiculous betting game we were playing at the Saturday night, I think it was. But that was just a ton of fun. And that like those are the moments that always stand out from the events, right? Is things like that where you're just all together, doing the kind of non-standard stuff, right? Which is certainly the case at Cabot Citrus Farms last year. And I think it's kind of a theme of across all of our answers here, honestly. It's like that's like the really interesting stuff. And we'll talk about it a little more for our plans for this year, but it's definitely been on my mind. I think our minds collectively as we're thinking about like what should we do for link style events in the future? How do we make them, as good as we possibly can?
My answer is the Jim Kelly Memorial Golf Tournament at Terry Hills in Batavia. Been 3 years in a row. Huge Buffalo Bills fan. Go Bills! And every single foursome has what they call a legend. So it's either a former player or another former NFL player, or like Chris Berman was there. And so you get to play with one of those. They have sort of a charity dinner the night before, then golf the next day. It is only 18 holes. And I will say one thing that's tough about it is the pace of play is awful. I think it's like a 6.5 hour round as a scramble, but it just kind of shows that people are having fun. Every like second or third, this is part of the reason why the pace of play is terrible. Every like second or third hole, there's a tent and there's, local Buffalo food and drinks and music. And you kind of like, while you wait, you get to hang out. So they've done a good job of just you don't feel like you're waiting as much because while you're waiting, you just go off to the tent, hang out, have a good time. They have one of those things where you like shoot a cannon on a par 4 and the ball like goes 420 yards from this cannon, which, I'm sure the insurance on that is awesome. But that's really fun. They have closest to the pin stuff. It's like a very traditional, golf event scramble type of thing. I've never really been to one of those before, so it's kind of the only frame of reference I have. We play with Steve Tasker, who growing up, he was the first Bills jersey I ever remember having. Used to do stuff on CBS. Maybe you know about him. He was a Bills player in the 90s. He now does, Bills radio. But just, always meet your heroes. Like, he's just a cool dude, and we get to play with him, and that's really fun. He hits the crap out of the ball, and it's great for a scramble because he just drives the ball straight and 300-plus yards, and then the rest of us just have to hit some putts. So that's really fun. And I think to echo what you said, Chris, like as we take pieces of all these different experiences and as we reflect on those and how that informs our event series, I do think there's like 2 reasons why you would travel to play golf, right? One is a really great golf course that has the notoriety that you would expect to drop more money than you would on a local golf course and travel to go play it because you want to check it off your list or you want to experience a piece of architecture that's notable, whatever. And the second is just to do something completely different than what you want to do. Those are the two themes that I found, right? Like one is if I could go play a golf course near me every day, but if I want to go do something, like I remember one time we were looking at one of the golf courses back in 2022, and we just like at night after dinner, we're just around the greens and doing a chipping contest. Like it's those kind of behind the scenes, fun, almost organic type things that I think are really fun, and these events typically are able to provide. So as we go,
the thing I'd add to that too, sorry to interrupt, Greg, but I think the other element,
you're forgiven this time.
The other element's definitely the people, right? Like being able to connect with, like in this case, other Links members from. I think the other unique thing that stands out in my mind is just people from all over the place. That's been one of the coolest parts of the signature events in the past. Is go to one at Kingsley in Michigan, and we've got people, a couple people from Michigan there, but like coming in from Detroit, so still hours away.
Atlanta,
myself and Atlanta, myself and one other guy from New York, like people converging from all over the place. And that's been mostly true across all the events, right? At least all the signature events, where it's very neat to get, that kind of mixture of folks you don't get, if you're just playing with your usual group every weekend, or, hitting even like the 5-iron event in New York City. Obviously it's mostly people from New York City going there. And so that's been a really cool aspect. And then I think hopefully reflected in, what we've got coming up for this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was a guy from Nashville who I'd never met in person who went to the Bayonne event that I met for the first time at baggage claim at LaGuardia because he had a Link style hat on. And little did we know we were both going to the same event. So it one of the things, if you look at the event website, I think we have this tagline. It's something like from online to on course. Like our club is very much online. Like it's online native. That's where it started. And so these events are really cool because like you get to go out and actually meet people and play golf with them on green grass. So definitely the people are super critical and important, and one of the best parts about all of this. Okay, so again, I mentioned earlier that on Discord last night we dropped the alpha of the actual event series. So there's some things changing, some things the same, but there's really two key elements. So Chris, first I'm going to start with you. Can you just sort of break down the event series, maybe strategy this year, and just tell us what's similar, what's different? We'll go into the names of all the courses after that, but just kind of start at a high level. How do you think about the 2025 event series this year?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, well, maybe just a step back and what we've done over the past couple of years. So we've had the signature event series, which we've run the past couple of years kind of formally with that name. It's basically, top courses across the country, either top 100 or top 200 or whatever, really notable kind of bucket list places that Wingstyle members can get access to, can go play. And, it's been an incredible experience, been a ton of fun. But the two main pieces of feedback we've gotten, I think, are that it might be interesting to do like even bigger events or even trips, right? Like, so most of the signature events over the past 2 years have been, you go, you play a round of golf, you have some food, but it's pretty straightforward and simple in that regard. But we've heard a desire to do even bigger events, and that would, I think kind of expand the experience of it, and also just kind of the community aspect of it as well, right? Like going on a trip with folks rather than just meeting up, playing around, and then dispersing. So that's definitely one piece that is baked into the schedule for this year, which we'll go through. And then I guess the other aspect of that is again, like creating experiences that you can't get elsewhere, right? Like something that's not, you can't replicate by buying a foursome in a charity auction or, doing a charity outing somewhere or anything like that, right? Because at the end of the day, you can find ways to do some of those things. But, we really kind of thought through, okay, how can we make experiences that are really unique that, you can't find or would be very hard to find elsewhere, and make them available to all Link style members, really make them special. So that's definitely been one aspect of it. And that's kind of the signature event side of things, right? Which we'll go through. And then the other aspect we've heard is really, okay, like we've got a bunch of these signature events, which are awesome, but what about like below that, right? Like, okay, I don't want to go play, necessarily a bucket list course all the time. That can get expensive, and, there's travel involved and everything else. But how else can I get together with other links folks, do kind of more informal events, more frequent events, a greater number of events that hit more areas of the country? Obviously, it's not possible to do signature event in every single city, where you have members and everything. So that's been kind of the second aspect. And I think we're trying to hit both of those this year, basically, really unique, high level, awesome course events, and then more frequent, and certainly cheaper to access events across the board, get as many links members as possible together throughout the year that we can.
Yeah, Coop, can you maybe double click into the community side of that? Kind of how are you thinking about that? What makes you excited about, we've sort of done this in the past. We're doing it a little bit differently now. We've opened up discussion in Dow General about how we should do these community level led events. Talk about the strategy there.
Yeah. We have some already like heroes of the community who are posting their tee times, right, in the regional channels. If you're just listening to this and you haven't checked it out yet, there's a region selection in Discord. You can add your home area. You can also add areas you want to travel to and get advice and recommendations from that. So those are kind of pre-existing frameworks that we have, but we really want to supercharge that process, right? So anytime Links members are playing together, it's a great time. We get tons of positive feedback, and one of the things folks ask us for is like, how can we make that happen more often? So we want to make sure that people who love organizing and getting out and playing golf and inviting random people from the internet to their tee times can do that, right? And I say that jokingly, but it's actually like one of the best experiences you can have as a Links member. And if you haven't gone and played with some random other Links member, try it this year. It's great. So we're going to make that possible. We're going to simplify those regional chats kind of right now. They're a little distributed. And then we're also going to empower the captains and co-captains from those regions to schedule more tee times. We'll get them integrated with Links Play. And, these will be at a lower price point than some of the other signature events. So weekly outings can be Top Golf, can be simulators, can be anything, where folks are getting together and having a good time. I'm also really excited to kind of establish traditions and our own flavor to these type of events that we can really grow and build on. We've had some experiences with this in the past, and I really think that we're going to have the ability to, continue to make it special for members who want to get out and play, and also reward folks for participating in these types of events, especially as they grow larger. Now that we have our own courses, these can kind of feed into, larger events that we can host at our own venues, which is really, really exciting.
Chris, can you now just how to get in the meat and potatoes of the schedule, walk us through what did we announce last night? I understand this is sort of phase one. There's more to come, but what are the actual events that we have on the calendar right now? Walk us through those, please.
Yeah, so we dropped kind of the first set of 4 signature events last night. So I'll go through those. Obviously, that's coming on top of the 4 Spade Bay events we have that, are already live and folks can go. That includes the Summer Solstice, Ryder Cup event, and everything going on over across the pond. But we also released the first set of 4 signature events. So as mentioned, that's including a lot of really awesome experiences this year, more unique. So the first one is a 36-hole double at Olympia Fields, Chicago. Historic course, associated U.S. Opens, PGA Championships, the BMW Championship a couple years ago. Really historic, well-known course. They have 36 holes there. So our event is going to be a full day there. Play the South course in the morning, lunch in the clubhouse, play the North course in the afternoon. So it's going to be a pretty epic day. Sounds like there's a Cubs game that Saturday or maybe that Friday night that folks are talking about going to already. So, it can be a pretty weekend even. But going to be a really awesome experience that's coming up on May 30th. So at the end of May. a couple months here. Should be, peak early golf season weather in Chicago. So that's going to be very cool. And I should also say, we'll have the privilege of being shepherded around by a Link Style member who's also a member at Olympia Fields. So, we'll get the full lay of the land, the run of course and club and everything else from our insider there, Link's and Olympia Fields member. So that's the first signature event of the year. Going to be really awesome. Second event is actually running back what Coop mentioned at the beginning of the pod. We're running it back for NFT NYC at Bayonne in New York City again this year. So NFT NYC is, I think it's the 4th week of June again this year. So the Wednesday of that week, we will be doing our big Bayonne event. Basically, looks very similar to what we did in 2022, which was awesome. Everyone had a ton of fun. So it's going to be fun to run that back. And obviously folks that are in town for that conference or, otherwise, we want everyone else to be able to participate in it there as well. It's going to be very cool. I mean, in the past couple of years, we've also done events at Bayonne, but as mentioned, they've been more kind of, run of the mill, play around, have food, and that's it. This year, I think it's going to be really awesome that we're set up to have kind of the full member day experience, right? So, folks will be able to take the member ferry over from Manhattan for all of our Manhattan or New York City folks, have lunch, round of golf, post-round drinks in the clubhouse there, which is an epic clubhouse for anyone who's been there, seen the pics, views of the New York City skyline, this kind of crazy theme that is Bayonne, which is, that you laid in picturesque golf course right in the middle of like loading dock and, container ships and all these things. A very unique experience. So everyone's going to get to experience that and then ferry back to Manhattan for everyone that's living in the city or has other stuff to do in the city that night. So running it back for NFT NYC. That's going to be event number 2. Again, I think it's going to, we've got such good feedback on that from, years past. So really excited about having that one available for this year as well. So that's number 2. I'll pause actually for a second on the signature events because the other thing we have going on this summer, of course, is our first member event for Hillcrest members in Kansas City. We've previewed that a bit. So we're going to be coming together. Obviously the course is under construction this year, opening next spring. But for everyone who's joined the course already, we're going to be having an event this summer in Kansas City, or I guess extending into the fall because now the date has been set. September 13th and 14th, that weekend will be our Kansas City event for Hillcrest members. Going to be a ton of fun. The exact itinerary will be released later, but there will be a lot of Hillcrest related programming, course tour, meetings on site with all the folks involved in the construction and architecture and everything else, meeting with Rob and crew. And then, we'll be playing golf. We'll be eating barbecue. Hopefully we'll be graced with a Chiefs home game. We'll see that weekend. But so that's going to be a ton of fun. But so that's September 13th and 14th in Kansas City for Hillcrest members. And then adjacent to that, kind of running straight into another signature event in Omaha, Nebraska, or just south of Omaha, Nebraska at the Dormy Club's Arbor Links course or property up that way. So really excited about this one. This is, the first of a couple multi-day overnight trip events that we're going to have this year. Obviously many folks will know, Dormy Club or Dormy Network, and they have awesome facilities, really kind of perfected, I would say, the on-site hospitality experience for a golf trip. And so all of our members are going to be able to do that as well. And so we've got a 2-day, 1-night trip that Sunday and then extending into that Monday after that Kansas City weekend. So folks will come in, play a ton of golf Sunday afternoon and evening, have on-site, dinner, all the kind of hospitality and food and beverage that they have on-site there, stay in the cottages on-site, wake up the next day, play a ton of golf again on Monday morning, have some meals on-site, and then everyone will have their separate ways. So that one, again, is kind of part of what we were doing this year is extending into bigger events, bigger trips. That's going to be the first one. Really cool. We've gotten to know the Dormy guys over the years and really excited to kind of partner with them on this one to get our Links members access to their facility up there and tie it into the Kansas City event. So that's going to be very cool. So that's number 3. And then the last one, number 4, is maybe the one I'm most excited about. But again, another multi-day overnight trip that we've got queued up for a signature event this year. It's going to be at Tree Farm in Aiken, or outside of Aiken, South Carolina. So I'm sure people will have seen a ton of stuff about the Tree Farm. It's gotten really just a ton of press and kind of eyeballs over the past couple of years as it's opened. But as the course was built or kind of founded by Zach Blair, the PGA Tour player, and it was built over the past few years and just opened recently to really outstanding praise. I think it's already hitting kind of top 100 listers in that conversation, and they've actually just opened lodging, I think, the past few months. So we're again going to have a 2-day, 1-night trip as a signature event. So I think it's November 23rd and 24th. Come in on Sunday, lunch, golf in the evening, dinner on site, staying on site. Everyone will be able to take advantage of the property overnight. And then the next day, breakfast, more golf in the morning and lunch. And then everyone will be on their separate ways. Multi-day, kind of at least 36 holes at Tree Farm, which is an incredible, of course, by all accounts, an incredible on-site experience there. And yeah, we'll have our second kind of multi-day event that people will be able to take advantage of this year, which again, super excited about that one.
What a great rundown. Like you said, like trying to get this mix of more destination with lots of different things to do. It's not just about the golf, it's about the people, it's about the experiences. I think you hit it out of the park. And I think last night people were super excited, not only about the courses, but also sort of the tweaks to how this might be working. So put your member hat on for a second. Chris, which is the one that you most want to attend of them and why?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of said it just in the last bit there, but I think the Tree Farm experience is the one that I am most excited about. It's the one that kind of followed along closely. Even there's the connection of like, we as Linked Out connected with Zach Blair like very early on after our launch, because we're in many ways like in a similar boat. He's starting up a course and kind of membership around it, and kind of building that out and trying to do something new. We were doing a little bit of the reverse. We started with our membership and we're looking for a course that we're building something new and trying to do something new and innovative. So followed it very closely over the past few years. So, but I haven't gotten to experience it, right? So I'm really excited to be able to do that. And then, again, everything I have read about it says the entire experience is outstanding, not just the golf, but, kind of everything on property. So really excited about that one personally as a member, and then, for other members to be able to experience it as well. But I don't know. What about you, Coop? What's your favorite on the list?
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about Tree Farm, but Bayonne has just been so great every time I've been there that I'm stoked to go back, right? That's going to be really, really fun. And it's always cool to see friends in town for the conference and doing all of that. The ferry ride over past the Statue of Liberty. The vibes are just really cool on that front. So, probably won't be the only one that I go to, but it'll definitely be the only one after 100 holes at Spey Bay for the solstice. So we'll see how the legs are holding up for Bayonne. Might be a bit of a test, but looking forward to it.
Good thing that one isn't a 36 hole event. You just do the 18
Right.
after the
Yeah.
solstice.
Just the 18, and then I'm gonna sleep for a
That's
week.
why you're in the gym, man. Like we trained last year, we handled it. You'll be back bigger, stronger, faster this year. So
That's right. New Rocky training
Yeah.
montage coming soon.
yeah, this isn't a slight to any of the others on the list. I mean, Olympia Fields looks awesome. I remember really, you always heard about Olympia Fields, but like kind of the last USAM they had there, and then you mentioned the BMW Championship. Like, seeing it on TV, it's a really special place. It has, I think consensus one of the best clubhouses in America. So I don't want to cast any shade there. Obviously, I'm a huge Dormy fan. I go to Dormy Club in near Pinehurst every year, and the hospitality experience is really unparalleled. It's just it's hard to explain how good it is until you're there. So, but I've wanted to play Tree Farm since I first heard about it, and Tree Farm is definitely the one on mine. Love Zach Blair. Obviously, he's been all over No Laying Up and Fried Egg, and he's done a really good job of telling the story. And like you said, Chris, it's sort of this like similar situation of how to get something new off the ground. And so he's sort of been an inspiration for a lot of things. So just to be on property, I mean, it's one of the top 5 golf properties that I want to visit. And so I'm really happy that that's an option, and, hopefully I'll be able to go to that one. All right. So then to kind of wrap up here, I do want to talk more about, so it's pretty clear how the signature events work, right? Like it's somewhat centralized in the sense that, Chris, you're going off and you're sort of negotiating on members' behalf. You're finding these events, we're getting pricing, we're setting those up. There's, and then those will go on sale via, kind of a traditional way of doing that, right? Like that sort of probably makes sense to people how that works. They've heard about event series before. But the other thing that you mentioned earlier is we're really trying to figure out then jointly with the community, how do we get as many people to play golf in 2025 in person as possible? And so the other side of this that we haven't touched on as most, but I want to focus on it here, Cooper, is kind of how will this work, or sort of what should people be doing next, or how can people participate, or just sort of walk through what's happening with the community-led side of the event schedule.
Head to the website links.golf/events to see the slate of everything we're doing, from Spay Bay to community-led to signature events. You'll see some link ups hosted by Greg at Sweetens Cove already populated there. If you're interested in participating, hop in the chats. We're going to be sending out a typed form survey to all members next week. If you want to step up as a community captain in your area, that's where you can raise your hand. But the discussions are happening now. And yeah, you'll be rewarded in Links coin, and as well as some other potential T-gifts and swag for helping lead these events. If you don't want to take on the full-time captain role, right, we're still figuring out exactly what that's going to mean in various areas, but you want to help organize or support an event, there's room for that too. Once we know who's interested and in what regions, we'll be pulling it all together, pairing members up, providing resources, and helping people get these events off the ground. And the idea is for, us to design this together, for you to bring your ideas to the table and to build something that, will be fun for all of us, not just the core team to plan everything. So we really want to give you all a platform to self-organize these events, but make them, Links branded and special. So we want to, I think, maximize the just percentage of Links members who are playing golf with each other overall, right? More rounds played with members, more fun had. We want to see more pics of, folks out on the course wearing their Links gear. And we think this is a great way for you to bring your friends out, right? Not everyone who comes to one of these events has to be a Links member, right? You're playing with your regular golf buddies. We want to make that expand, invite them to not necessarily join Links, but see what it's all about, meet other members, see why we're having such a good time over here, and grow the club in an organic, authentic way. So the most important part is to hear from you, right? If you're listening to this and you think this is a cool idea or something you want to participate in, hop in the Discord, hop in the community, fill out the type form, drop a comment under this video if you're watching on YouTube. We want this to be a community-driven kind of effort. So come build with us, and we're really looking forward to not only the top 100 courses, shout out to C. Bruce for getting those together this year, but really dozens of these community-led events around the country and around the world. So I'm looking forward to how it plays out.
I think it's one of those things where I think we all intuitively know the goal. Like we should all be playing as much golf as possible. That's why one of the reasons why we're here. We also, as we talked last week, are taking the census, next week probably, and we'll send it out. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback on that. And there'll definitely be questions in that around just sort of how important are events, how much do you want to participate. But I think like we don't know the answers yet. Sincerely, like we sort of know the question, which is like, how can we get people playing golf together as much as possible? But what's really fun about this project in general is that those answers can be derived together. So there's already a conversation happening. And some of that is like, look, it's really hard. It's really hard in Chicago because it's such a short season and there's people in the city and there's people in the suburbs. And so then, there was a great idea last night. It's like, it's really hard when you're the only person sort of organizing it, because then if you have something else come up, then it just kind of dies. So what about co-captains? And then like, worst case scenario, the two co-captains are playing golf with each other. So I think like this will be figured out as we go. And I think is very much a vibe of some of the stuff we do, which is like, hey, we feel like this is important. First, let's determine whether or not it's important to y'all too. Okay. If it is, then let's figure out how to have a discussion on how to do it correctly. And then let's learn as we go and let's iterate and let's make it great. But I do think that is sort of a big goal for this year. We've done a lot with links leagues in the past, and that's mostly people playing on their own, posting a score, competing sort of distributedly, digitally. But I think we really want to make sure that because we have the platform and we know who, kind of who people are, like how can we help to make sure that we're linking people together so you're not playing golf alone. And then to Cooper's point, we talked a lot about growth last week and how, important growth is to the community. It's a great way for you to be able to bring your friends in. So if you've had your friends' eyes, gloss over by talking to them about NFTs or crypto or whatever else, or they think it's a scam or they think it's scary or whatever, they're going to understand golf. Like bring them out to golf. It's a club. Let them understand it. Let them meet other people. Let them get connected, and then let them make a decision to join. So super excited. Any other thoughts on that stuff, Chris, Cooper, before we wrap up here?
No, I mean, can't wait to get it going. We're a couple months out from the first event, but I am personally itching to get more golf in after sitting inside all winter. So that goes for the events as well. I think we've got some really, really unique stuff lined up for this year. So can't wait to get it going. See some other Links members at all these events.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Whether it's signature event, whether it's a local hang, we want every member to play golf outside in 2025. So let's make this happen together. If you haven't, as Cooper mentioned, you can check out the current 2025 events calendar. Again, it's going to change. Stuff is going to get added. There's a whole new slate of events that'll get added. We'll figure out ways to incorporate the local stuff in there as well. But you can visit links.golf/events. One note on URLs, like if you go to linksdow.io/events, it goes to the same place, right? So all those things direct to each other, but links.golf might be easier to remember. So links.golf/events. And again, just to plug, if you want to join Clubhouse, as Chris and Cooper said earlier, March 31st is the last date where this current phase is ending with all of the, special packages and stuff that comes along with that. So if you are considering joining, please do reach out. You can go to the Clubhouse. And in there's a ton of information about Hillcrest, a ton of information on the different types of memberships. And then right there, you can just reach out if you have questions. As always, jump into Discord, join the conversation, just help shape the future of Links. We talked about it last week. We are at this really interesting point of this project and very excited with the census coming out, with the event schedule dropping, with Hillcrest memberships going. It's an exciting time. So just come join and be along in the journey, as cliche as that might sound. Big shout out to, Chris for pulling together the event. Shout out to the members who are willing to host and also be a part of that. And thanks to Chris and Coop for hopping on, taking the time, talking to me, talking to everyone. But most importantly, everyone listening, everyone watching, thank you. It really is your passion, your engagement that make this community special. So we can't wait to build this, next chapter, whether it's events or golf course ownership or, community-led meetups or whatever it is. We can't wait to build this next chapter together. So we'll see you all at an event soon, and we'll talk to you later.
Like, subscribe, and share the podcast.
Please do. All right. See y'all.
Happy 2025 events, everybody.